The story is told about General Moshe Dayan, famous general in the Israeli army, who, you see all the pictures, had a patch on one of his eyes. The general is speeding down an Israeli highway, and he's pulled over by a police officer who says, Mr. General, you ought to serve as an example to your fellow citizens, and here you're speeding down the highway. The general looks at the police officer and he says, Mr. Officer, you see I only have one eye. What do you want me to use that eye for? Should I look at the speedometer or should I look at the highway? My dear friends, in life, we have these two dynamics. We have the speedometer and we have the highway. And it's important that we look at the speedometer, but that we also look at the highway. Don't lose sight of the highway. The Kabbalah explains that the human body, we have a soul that makes our body alive. There's actually two levels of energy that vitalizes our body. You have a specific energy that goes into each limb individually. You got an energy that goes into your hand. It's tailor-made, it's custom-made for your hand to give your hand the functions it needs to function properly as a healthy hand. Another energy goes into your brain to help it think. Another energy goes into your foot so that it can walk and fulfill the functions of a foot, etc. So these are unique, distinct functions that go into each limb individually. But then there's another energy. This energy goes to all limbs equally. It's the energy that's not about function, but it's about life itself. It's the energy that goes into your mind and your foot and your hand all equally. It's the energy that makes us alive, that we exist, we're living beings. And it's that energy that reminds us that our body is not this glove of many different limbs just pushed together. It's not a hand connected to a body that happens to be connected to a brain, unrelated. But in fact, the entire body is one makeup. And the hand and the foot and the head, they're all connected. They're all supposed to look out for each other because we're part of one body. The same thing the Kabbalah explains is with the world. You have, God creates the world, and there's energy that creates every individual species, every individual creation. You have human beings, every human being, no one's alike, everyone's unique. And you have plants, and you have animal life, and you have the galaxies. So you have energy that's individual for every single creation, tailor-made for that specific species, that it can fulfill its function, its unique task. Then there's another energy. And that energy is what goes into the entire world, into every single creation equally. It's not about the function, it's not about the personality of the creation, but it's about its existence. The fact that you exist, and I exist, and the moon exists, and Earth exists. No one exists more or less than anybody else. We all exist exactly the same. And this energy is what teaches us we're not living in a world with many unrelated individuals. The entire world is really connected. We're really all pieces of one puzzle. We're all created by one God. We all have one purpose. And that's the energy that makes us exist. And the same thing the Kabbalah says is with life itself. We experience life. You have the details of life. I have many functions I have. I gotta make a living, gotta take care of my health, and you gotta sleep, and you gotta eat, take care of your family, what have you. You have many, many aspects of life, which can seem unrelated. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. What's the connection? But then there's a deeper energy in life, and that's life itself. That's the fact that I'm created, I have meaning, I have purpose. Recognizing the highway, recognizing the big picture. And when I recognize the big picture, it changes my perspective and how I look on the details. These are not unrelated details. Because when we look at the many functions in life as unrelated, life obviously becomes dull and boring and a burden. I have to do this, I have to do that, I lose my life. What is life about? But when I inject the perspective of the highway, when I understand and I appreciate life itself, life's value, life's meaning, life's purpose, I recognize it's all one body. It's all one world. It's one life. It all has meaning. And the small things that I have to do and the big things that I have to do, they're all connected. They're all part of meaning and purpose. It puts things in perspective. And it helps us appreciate the challenges that we have, helps us navigate those difficult moments, helps us appreciate all the many things I have to do in life, recognizing the meaning and purpose behind it. And that's what the Torah portions that we're reading now, last week and this week, reflecting on the lives of Abraham and Sarah. The Torah tells us Abraham and Sarah lived full lives, complete lives. And in fact, the terminology the Torah uses for Abraham is Va'avram, Zakein, Ba Vayamim. Abraham was old. He was way over 100 years old. Ba Vayamim, the Torah says, he came with his days. Commentaries explain what the Torah means is Abraham brought his days along with him. Even though he was well over 100, he brought his days. There was not one day that was unaccounted for. Not one moment that was unaccounted for. Abraham, getting older, brought his days along with him. Every moment was filled to capacity with what it was meant for. Abraham made sure to take care of the details. He was responsible. At the same time, every moment in Abraham's life had the perspective and had the value that comes along with the understanding and the appreciation of the big picture of the highway. Shabbat Shalom.